In today's fast-paced world, the pressure to respond immediately is overwhelming. Whether it's a text, a comment, or an emotional trigger, we are often expected to react without taking a moment to pause. This constant demand for immediate responses can lead to impulsive reactions that are driven by emotions rather than rational thought. But how can we develop the ability to pause before reacting, especially when our emotions are triggered? Seneca offers a powerful Stoic thought: control your emotions before they control you. This Stoic wisdom encourages us to create a sacred pause between stimulus and reaction. Instead of allowing our emotions to control our actions, Stoicism teaches us to pause, reflect, and choose a response based on reason, virtue, and self-discipline. In this video, we'll explore how Stoic principles can help us develop the power of pausing before reacting and learn how to respond with calm and clarity, even in the face of triggers. Seneca offers us this profound Stoic insight: control your emotions before they control you. This powerful quote speaks to the heart of Stoic practice, the ability to control our emotional responses rather than being controlled by them. In a world that often values immediate reactions and instant feedback, Stoicism teaches us to pause before responding, giving ourselves time to reflect, gain clarity, and choose a response that aligns with our values, rather than allowing our emotions to dictate our actions. We can train ourselves to respond with purpose, cultivating emotional resilience and mental discipline. That Seneca-inspired line, "Control your emotions before they control you," is basically a Stoic alarm bell. Because the modern world is designed to steal the pause, a notification hits, a comment stings, a tone in someone's message feels off, and before you even know what happened, you fired back, over-explained, panicked, or spiraled. Not because you're weak, but because you reacted at the speed of the trigger. Stoicism says, your freedom lives in the gap between what happens and what you choose. Why the pause is sacred Stoic style. Stoics don't try to become emotionless robots. They try to become unbuyable, not for money, but for moods. Not for applause, but for provocation. That pause is where you ask, what exactly happened? Facts, what story am I adding? Interpretation, what part is in my control? Choice, what would a wise person do here? Virtue, most suffering isn't the event. It's the instant interpretation. They disrespected me. I'm being attacked. I must defend myself. That's the mind sprinting ahead, dragging your emotions like a cart behind it. The Stoic move: delay the reaction, not the action. A lot of people confuse pause with do nothing. Stoicism isn't passive, it's precise. The pause is how you stop being trained by your triggers. Because if you always react immediately, you're basically telling life, press this button and I'll do whatever you want. Practical Stoic tools for the pause. Here are simple field techniques that actually work. The 3-breath rule before you reply, speak, or click send. 3 slow breaths. You are not calming down. You're taking back command. Name the emotion. Reduce its power silently. Label it. Anger, shame, anxiety. Stoics believed clarity weakens emotional tyranny. Ask the control question: is this fully in my control? Partly, or not at all. If it's not in your control, reacting emotionally is paying a tax for nothing. Draft: don't send, write the impulsive reply. Then wait 10 minutes. Most regret lives in messages sent too fast. Choose your standard. Virtue, not how do I win this moment, but how do I act with self-respect? That's how Stoics stay steady when others lose it. The big idea: a reactive life is exhausting. A paused life is powerful. The pause is where you stop being a puppet of moods and become the author of your behavior. Seneca thought, control your emotions before they control you. speaks directly to one of the most powerful Stoic practices, the pause before reacting. In today's world, where immediacy and instant responses are often valued, we are frequently encouraged to react impulsively to texts, comments, and triggers. We live in a culture of instant communication where waiting to respond can sometimes feel like an unnecessary delay. However, Stoicism teaches us that the true strength lies in the moment of pause, the ability to take a step back, reflect, and choose our response, rather than being swept away by emotions. We've all experienced moments where a quick reaction leads to regret or misunderstanding. Whether it's snapping at someone in a conversation, responding defensively to criticism, or letting our emotions dictate an action, impulsive reactions often lead to more harm than good. Seneca reminds us that true control comes when we pause before reacting and take a moment to assess our emotions and the situation at hand. The Stoic ideal is to take a moment to reflect on our emotional state, consider the best course of action, and then respond from a place of calmness, clarity, and virtue. By practicing this sacred pause, we can cultivate emotional resilience and improve our decision-making, responding in ways that align with our true values instead of being controlled by our impulses. The challenge of immediate reactions in modern life. We are often triggered by external stimuli, whether it's a rude comment, a difficult conversation, or a stressful situation. Our instinct may be to react immediately, to defend ourselves, prove a point, or express frustration. This reflexive response is driven by our emotions, and while emotions are natural, when they are not controlled, they can lead to regret and miscommunication. Stoicism teaches us that immediate reactions are often driven by impulsivity and emotion, rather than reason and clarity. By practicing the sacred pause, we give ourselves space to process our feelings and choose a response that aligns with our virtue and values. The pause allows us to regain control over our actions, ensuring that we respond thoughtfully, with rationality and purpose, rather than letting our emotions dictate the outcome. Stoic practices for developing the power of pausing create a space for reflection. The first step in cultivating the power of the pause is to create space between the stimulus and our response. When faced with a trigger or emotional reaction, instead of responding immediately, we can take a moment to breathe, reflect, and assess how we truly feel. By creating this space, we interrupt the impulse to react and regain control over how we respond. The more we practice this pause, the easier it becomes to respond from a place of calm and clarity. Focus on what you can control. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, recognizing that while we cannot control external events, we can control how we respond to them. When we feel triggered, the Stoic response is to focus on what we can control, our reaction, thoughts, and emotions, by focusing on our own response rather than the external event. We detach from the emotional charge and can choose to respond with patience, wisdom, and virtue. Embrace the practice of mindfulness. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of our emotions and thoughts. When we're faced with a challenging situation, it's important to recognize our emotional state before reacting. Are we feeling defensive, angry, or frustrated? By acknowledging our emotions, we can better assess whether they are driving our reaction or whether we can respond from a place of clarity. Mindfulness allows us to act with intention rather than reflex. Reframe the situation. Reframing is a powerful Stoic tool for handling emotional triggers. When we are confronted with a negative situation, we can take a moment to reframe it and view it from a different perspective. For example, instead of seeing criticism as an attack, we can see it as an opportunity to improve. Instead of reacting defensively to a rude comment, we can view it as feedback that doesn't define us. Reframing helps us detach from our emotional reaction and respond with wisdom and calm. Cultivate patience. One of the core Stoic virtues is patience. The ability to wait before reacting is an act of strength and discipline. In situations where we feel emotionally charged, patience allows us to stay grounded and avoid reacting impulsively. Instead of rushing to respond, we take the time to reflect, to choose a thoughtful response, and to act in accordance with our virtues. Patience helps us maintain our emotional balance and act with dignity and control. The freedom found in the pause. The true freedom that Stoicism offers is the ability to pause before reacting. By practicing mental discipline, self-awareness, and emotional resilience, we regain control over our responses and stop being governed by impulsivity and emotion. The sacred pause is not just about waiting. It's about choosing a response that aligns with our values and virtue. By embracing the power of pausing, we create the space for clearer thinking, calmer actions, and more rational decisions. Stoicism teaches that our actions are the reflection of our character, and by pausing before reacting, we ensure that our responses are guided by wisdom, self-discipline, and inner peace. As we conclude today's discussion on the power of pausing before reacting, remember that true strength lies in our ability to control our responses, not in the speed or immediacy of our reactions. Seneca's insight, "Control your emotions before they control you," teaches us that pausing before reacting is not a sign of weakness, but a powerful practice that cultivates emotional resilience and self-control. In a world that constantly demands instant reactions and immediate responses, Stoicism teaches us that true peace of mind comes from taking a moment to reflect and choose a measured, rational response. By embracing the sacred pause, we regain control over our thoughts and actions, ensuring that we act from a place of clarity, virtue, and inner peace rather than emotional impulses. So, the next time you feel triggered or overwhelmed, remember that you have the power to pause, reflect, and choose your response. In that moment of pause, you can find strength, calm, and the wisdom to respond with purpose and integrity. Thank you for joining us today. If this video resonated with you, subscribe and share it with someone who might benefit from learning how to pause before reacting and live with calm and self-discipline together. Let's walk the Stoic path of inner peace, emotional resilience, and meaningful living.